Hi folks, and welcome to the 4.1 release video for the portal connector. My name is Steve Webb. I'm the VP of Product Development, and I will be taking you through the awesome new features that the portal connector released with 4.1. So in this release, it's primarily an extension to the 4.0 release. So all of the functionality that we added, well, a majority of the functionality is MVC related, so model view controller related. So some of the features in the 4.1 release include charts, maps, right to left support, rules manager, and the list view. So what we can do is jump into a quick demo of these features. For those of you that are not familiar with the portal connector, this is the administrative area. This is where you would go to configure all of your portal customizations. Of course you can see across the top there we have content, news, blogs, events, all that good stuff, pages, some portal connector elements, some e-commerce and design, so on and so on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into this 4.1 features page and start configuring some of those awesome new features. So we're going to start with the map. We're going to drag that map in here. And let's configure this. So clicking on edit. So you can see here that we have some basic map settings, where the map is actually going to be centered by, the zoom, the map height, so on and so on. And across the top we also have the capability of selecting custom pins, adding the data, mapping those fields of course, and then filtering it. So what's nice about this map control is that it doesn't just use address information from contacts or accounts. You can use any entity to populate these maps. So if you have a custom entity out there that has address information, you can by all means use that entity as well. So I only have 3 entities configured for the portal connector today. So what I'm going to do is actually just use the contact entity. So click on contact, load default fetch. And of course I have no address information in my default fetch, so I'm just going to open up my builder and add some of that information. So click on add attribute. So this map widget, it's capable of using the address composite fields or individual fields or even coordinates. So what I'm going to do for this demo is just actually use the address composite field. So I'm going to add that field to the list and then click on save and close. From there, I'm going to define which attributes to show. So when you mouse over one of those pins that are placed on the map, you do have the capability of having a little pop-up window tell you exactly what that pin is for. So you have a description field, maybe a custom HTML field inside of CRM that displays company logo and address information and so on and so on. But for our purposes, we're just going to use the full name of that contact. And then again, I just select my composite field here. But you can see we can also use coordinates and use individual address fields if we chose to do that. Now the last thing we want to do is just select what kind of pin. So what we can do is just select an image that we can use across all pins, or we can use the actual entity image. So if contact has an entity image, then we can use that image as well. So I'm just going to select an image, and I'll take one that I have previously uploaded, click on done, and then click save. So that's how you configure the map widget. So let me publish this and we'll show you what that looks like. So clicking on view, and there's our map with the pins. So as I mouse over those, you can see the different names from the different contacts within Dynamics CRM. Of course I can zoom out, pan across, take a look at other contacts as well. So moving on, the next feature I like to highlight are the new charts. So we added a lot of functionality to the charts. Just drag in one of these chart widgets here, clicking on edit, we get into our designer for the charts. So the charts, as I said, we added a lot of functionality to it. So you can see that we restructured it a little bit, but we also added the capability of selecting a visualization that was already created in Dynamics CRM. So if I select one of my entities, maybe it's my case entity. So I can select a visualization. And it'll configure all the different attributes for that specific chart, and also give you a little preview of what that chart's going to look like down below. So with that, I can also go in and change all of my appearance for the chart. So if I want to have a different title, if I want to change the value labels or even the chart theme, I could do that. I can go into the data and manipulate the fetch XML statement directly. So if I want to customize that a little bit, most of the time what you want to do is customize that to be filtered by the actual logged in user, not the CRM user, but the actual contact that's logged into the portal connector. So that's something that you can do. So it's not just across all the user data within Dynamics CRM, it's specific to that contact. And like I said, you can use all that same filtering capabilities. Clicking on save, we'll get that chart. Let's add another one here, which add another one really quick, and then we'll go into what that's actually going to look like. So clicking on edit. This time maybe I'll select maybe an account and see what type of visualizations we have for that. So accounts by owner, account by territories. Let's go accounts by industry and click on load. And again, like I said, it configures all of that different elements. I can click on refresh here for my chart here, and you can see that we have a decent chart to display here. Clicking on save and into publish, and let's take a look and see what that looks like on our actual portal page. So just refresh this. And there we go. So all of our charts are configured and in place. So with this, it's pretty nice because we support all of the chart types within Dynamics CRM, plus a couple bonus chart types that you can configure yourself. So our next feature is right to left support. So if you're working with clients or your organization requires right to left support, so any type of Arabic language or other language that requires that type of functionality, the portal connector does have full support for right to left languages. So I'm just going to click into another demo site here. So it's just a quick demonstration of right to left support. So you can see that we have English selected right now. If I select Arabic, then of course everything switches and flips, and now it's right to left. So including all of the different widgets, the content within those widgets, everything becomes right to left and provides that support that you're looking for those types of languages. So one of my favorite new features is the Rules Manager. So let's close out this and jump back into our pages. So the Rules Manager, it's a pretty unique widget. It's a form widget, so I'm going to just maybe bounce into my profile form. Let's find that personal profile form. There it is there. So what's unique about this is it allows you to create different business rules on all of your forms. So when I say business rules, I'm talking about, say for instance, if they enter in a mobile phone number, then you can disable the email address. Or if they select their marital status as single or married, then you can open up other fields to ask how many kids they may have. So if I go into my widgets on the side here, so let's just drag one of these rules managers on there. You can see right now that we have no rules defined. Clicking on edit, now I can define those rules. So say for instance, if I wanted maybe a city check, if they live in a specific city. And I can say, okay, address 1 city, when is equal to or changes or contains. So let's go is equal to, say, maybe Toronto. Then I can do something with other fields. Maybe I want to hide my province or country or something along those lines. And I can do that. You can see down here it's readable as well. So it's a city check. When the address 1 city is equal to Toronto, then hide my state or province. Add that rule. And I can add as many of these rules as I want. So you can see if I just go into the different events, it's equal to, is not equal to, contains. You know, when a window loads, you can do something on that first name. It just creates an event for it, and so on and so on. So let's just go add that. You can see here that we can set, show, hide, toggle, enable, disable, or even run a JavaScript when that event runs. So if I click on there, I can type in there and add some custom scripting to do anything with those fields using the Portal Connector JavaScript API. So again, like I said, you can add as many rules as you want to it, and then clicking on save, it just defines those rules so you can see exactly what's going on. So it's great for adding that extra functionality on your forms, for making them a little bit more dynamic. Maybe if it's an application form and you want different sections to show and hide and submit back to Dynamics CRM, then those are that's the widget that you want to use for sure. And finally, the last feature I want to demonstrate is the list view widget. So let's jump over our forms here. I'm just going to cancel all this and hop back into our pages. The list view widget is a page widget. So what that allows you to do is display any type of data in any type of format. So if you want something a little more customized, then the list view is a widget to use. So I'm going to jump into my 4.1 features. And you can see on the side here we have the list view. So let's drag this this list view widget. I'm going to drop it right in this main container here, right there. And click on edit to configure it. Here we go. So you can see here that we have the capability of adding records or editing records or deleting records. And what that does is just adds a button. So if I want to, I can select these different elements and then select a page to display those records. So let's go with contacts. I'm actually just going to open up a profile form here. There we go. And I guess set that same page. So on these pages, you would just want a form for the contact entity to populate that record into. So on my data side, of course, we're going to be working with contacts. I'll load my default fetch, and I have my phone name, my telephone. Let's actually add email address to this as well. Why not? Go into my email address here. There it is. Click on save and close. So I have my data defined. The next thing you want to do is define your template. So again, the template can be anything. So you can see here that right now we just have a list placeholder. If I go into the HTML, I can see the HTML. I can type in HTML here, or I can use my editor here. So if I wanted to do different elements there, and that's actually the wrapper template. So inside there, then you also have a row and alternate row template. So I'm just going to go into the alternate row template, and I can insert fields pretty easily. So what it does is it looks at the fields in your fetch XML and buttons. So I'm going to add my full name here. It's already in there. And maybe I want to enter in a break there. My telephone. And of course, like I said, the formatting can be completely customized. So if you wanted to do any type of bootstrap formatting, or if you wanted to do any type of custom styling, you can get in there and do that custom styling as well. So there it is there. And now I'm just going to add a couple buttons to each of these. Say my edit button. and my delete button. Actually, let's leave a space between them. My delete button. Going into my HTML, you can see the HTML generates, and I'm just going to copy that and use that for my alternate row as well. So if I wanted to, I could have a different color scheme for my alternate row, but I think for this purpose, we'll just use the same. So back to my HTML, and that's what it's going to look like. I can add text in here as well. So if I wanted to, I can say name, and I can make that bold. Let's go back here, click on my bold here, phone, email, bold those up. And of course, let me just copy that over. I don't have to actually copy it. I could just configure each one independently, but it's a little bit easier if you just copy it. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. There it is. Then we have various settings, so you can see that we can enable paging if we wanted to, enable scrolling. We can filter that data, of course, just like we could filter any type of data widget within Dynamics CRM, or sorry, within the portal connector. And of course, I can also customize the columns if I wanted to do that as well. So clicking on save, and if I publish this, what we'll do is go back to our 4.1 features page and refresh this. And there we go. There's all of our data formatted in the format we put it. Of course, it looks pretty ugly because I didn't add any styling to it. But you can see that you can pretty much do anything with this particular widget in formatting. And of course, we left the paging enabled, so you can page. Right now, it's showing 218 items, or 100 of 218 items, and of course all the other elements that we did. So if I wanted to, I could break this into a table and set it up so it's tabular or something along those lines. So clicking on edit, it will load up Abraham's record ready to be modified. And of course, that works for any of those different contacts, Adrian as well. And with that delete functionality, it also allows me to delete individual contacts as well. And with that concludes the review of the release features for the Portal Connector 4.1. So I'd like to say thank you for watching, and watch out for our release video for the Portal Connector 4.2 coming out in June. Thank you once again.